Good afternoon, Red Foxes. I'm here with a quick recap of our race today at the Novak Memorial Metropolitan Championship Regatta, which was more commonly known in the past as Spring METS, race put on by Iona down in New Rochelle, New York. They race on the Orchard Beach Lagoon, which is connected to Long Island Sound, which is right where the New York Athletic Club rows. The conditions today were significantly better than expected. A couple days ago, we were looking at big wind, lots of rain, possible thunderstorm, and today we ended up with pretty much calm or near flat calm, maybe a light headwind on the race course during racing, and then it was kind of misting, spitting rain at times, but pretty, it was a day that was like everything was kind of damp, but no one was getting poured rain on. So it ended up significantly nicer than we thought it would be. We brought 6 boats to this event today. We had first varsity, second varsity, third varsity, 8s. And then our fourth and fifth varsity athletes were split into 3 different 4s. We had a varsity 4, a JV 4, and a freshman 4. So I'm going to run through the different results of the different boats. Overall, it was a good day. Pretty pleased with how we performed and how we approached the regatta. So I'll start out with I'm going to run through the results sheet here. So I'll do the JV 4 first. They were the only 4 that they just had a single race. It was just a straight race. Oddly, there were 6 crews signed up to row in this event, and 4 of the 6 DNS'd the start for that race. They did not start. They didn't race the event. So I'm not sure what happened. It ended up just being our JV4 and Colgate's 4 that raced in this event. The Marist boat came in second to Colgate. Colgate pulled a 7:40. Marist pulled an 8:02. I don't think it was necessarily our best piece. That crew had, only had a week of practice, and it should be noted that Colgate did not enter their boat in the varsity 4 category where I would have normally entered them, because they did not have a varsity 4. So overall, tough race for that boat, but an opportunity to get out on the water and get some experience. And I think that they'll, take that in stride. The next boat was the men's novice 4. So we had 4 freshmen in there, or I should say 3 freshmen and 1 novice athlete who's a sophomore. In the heat, that boat placed second in their heat to a pretty quick Fairfield crew. The Fairfield crew beat them by almost 30 seconds in the heat. So Fairfield went 7:15 and Marist went 7:42 in the heat in the morning. And in the other heat, there were 2 boats that were in the 7:40s, right around Marist's time. One from Lafayette and the other from the U.S. Maritime or U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. So the final for that race, Marist placed second. They were much closer to the Fairfield crew. Fairfield went 7:25 in that race, and Marist went 7:32. So dropped the margin between those 2 crews from almost 30 seconds to just 7 seconds in just one race, just one morning. So that was cool to see. They beat the other 2 crews that had been close to them on time, from Merchant Marine and from Lafayette. pretty soundly. Lafayette came in third in 7:36, so they were about 4 seconds back from Marist, which made that a nice tight little race for them. And then Merchant Marine was in 7:56, so close to 25 seconds back. So second place on the day in that category out of, I want to say it was 8 crews total entered in the event. So good for them. And that was a theme of the day, I think, in the fours, was that these crews were put together this week. Most of them hadn't raced in fours yet this season. We spent the week kind of getting acclimated to these lineups, and I felt like we went out this morning and had a piece, and came back in, recalculated based on what we had done in the morning, and then went out and had a better result in the afternoon. So that was cool to see that boat improve so much on the margin and come off the water feeling like they'd done a much better job with that afternoon race to take second. The Varsity 4 was a similar storyline. We went out in the morning. There were actually 3 heats of Varsity 4s. We came in second in our heat to a crew from U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. There were other decently quick crews at the event from Lafayette, another one from Fordham, and in the final, the Varsity 4 placed second, and they were 10 seconds behind the crew from Lafayette and beat the crew from Merchant Marine that had beaten them in the heat in the morning by close to 10 seconds. It was about 9 seconds over that crew, and then another 10 seconds back to the crew from Fordham. So once again, same storyline of went out, got a race under them, and then I think found some different rhythm, different legs in the afternoon, and showed some significant improvement, and that was cool to see. So both boats, the Varsity 4 and the Freshman 4, coming off the water in the afternoon, feeling much better than they had in the morning, and having some increased confidence in what we did. The second varsity and third varsity raced together in the second Varsity 8 event, so there was no 3V event. I'm just searching through my spreadsheet here. The JV8 final, the Marist A boat won the race in a time of 6:28. The B boat, the third varsity, came in second at 6:37, which was just about 9 seconds behind the varsity. The next closest crew was Fairfield at 6:52. So very solid wins for those boats. Not a super competitive crew in there to push those guys, but a lot of the talk this week was the 2V and the 3V were kind of trading blows at practice, and so it was cool for them, for both boats, to be able to face off with each other on the water. And it was good for the second varsity to show the 3V who's top dog in a full 2K. I think the 3V's been doing a really good job of nipping at their heels in practice and pushing them, and that can be a little frustrating in the 2V when they get beat every now and then on a piece. But the 3V's been having a great season, and so we're looking forward to both boats continuing to push really hard at practice, and today's race was part of that. The Varsity 8 had a heat in the morning with Vassar and Fairfield, which they won pretty handily. They went 6:21. Vassar was the next boat behind them at 6:45. And then in the afternoon, the crew to beat was the crew from Colgate, So shout out to Colgate for joining us at this event. Pretty cool to see them down here closer to our neck of the woods. And Marist got the win over Colgate by about 5 seconds in a pretty good race. So Vassar placed fourth. So Fordham placed third at 6:30, and Vassar just a second behind them. So a good close race for those guys as well. You know, the setup for this race, you know, when we put this on the calendar, was we knew that the regular season was going to be a tough season, and we had some really fast crews lined up this year, and this race was set up in a lot of ways to kind of bring the crew into championship season, you know, feeling a little more confident. We were not anticipating Colgate coming to the event. They hadn't in the past, and so that was cool for them to come. It definitely increased the competitiveness of this race in the events that they were entered in. So that was cool to see. Colgate's always been a very tough opponent every year. They're a very well-trained crew and very technically savvy crew. So definitely cool to see Marist get the better end of that matchup, which is something we haven't seen in a couple of years, and sign that we're moving in the right direction with these athletes. And so it was good for the varsity to get a win under them after a tough regular season. And we are headed into championship mode now. So as I explained in my last video, we will be attending the Dadvale Regatta as well as the NIRC Regatta, both on the same weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So we'll be at the Dadvale on May 9th and 10th, which is down on the Cooper River in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And then the following day, May 11th, will be at NIRC in Worcester. So busy weekend. We are excited to be doing that double race again. Certainly will be done differently than it was the last time in 2019. So we're looking to take advantage of some improvements in our logistics for the event, and you know, just an opportunity for the boats that are doubling up, the varsity and second varsity, to you know, to get more racing experience, more time together, and then to get a close look at Dadvale and how the race progression works there, the time trial at the beginning of that regatta. That's where Marist is going to end up racing after our conference realignment next spring. And so we felt like it was a good idea to get an early look at that event in 2025. So that's all I've got for this video. We'll be back at you with a little preview of championship weekend as we get closer to that. And I will throw some links for the results and everything from this week in the website. Special shout out to the alumni who showed up today. There was a sizable group from the New York and New Jersey area, and also our parents who had a great food tent again and came down in droves to see us race. Special thanks to everyone who was there to support the team, and we will look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Go Red Foxes.